For more than 2 decades, freshwater releases from the city's reservoir system have helped sustain the Nueces Delta. That's a critical nursery for fish, shrimp, crabs, and other wildlife.
According to the Coastal Bend Bays and Estuaries program, the Delta has received an average of about 24,000 acre-feet of freshwater annually over the past 24 years. But because of drought, no releases have been made in more than 2 years. And
as Corpus Christi considers asking state regulators to change when mandatory releases begin, questions are being raised about what that could mean for the health of the Delta. Michael Gibson takes us there.
I'm taking a tour of the Nueces Delta with one of the scientists who works out here and knows if there's been any effects from the lack of water releases from our lake system into this area, which is apparently a very vital spot for wildlife and marine life.
That tour quickly took an unexpected detour. Adrian Hilme, project manager for the Coastal Bend Bays and Estuaries program, spotted a threatened Texas tortoise crossing our path. As you can see, the tortoise wasn't interested in being part of our story, and we certainly weren't interested in interrupting his journey. The species is actually part of an ongoing research project aimed at mapping habitat use and determining how many Texas tortoises call the Nueces Delta home. But while the tortoise grabbed our attention, the focus of our visit was actually water.
This is where fresh water does come through when it's released, but it's also tidally influenced. So this is connected to the bay. So we also have bay water that pushes up into this area. So there's always water of some kind here.
Hilme is referring to Rincon Bayou, one of the primary channels that carries fresh water into the Delta. Historically, the Delta has received an average of about 24,000 acre-feet of freshwater releases each year. But because reservoir levels have remained low during our drought, no releases have been required for more than 2 years. We asked what impact that lack of fresh water may be having.
We've seen salinities as recently as a month ago up in the over 55 parts per thousand.
In simple terms, higher salinity levels can make it harder for young marine life to survive. At the same time, Corpus Christi is considering whether to seek an emergency order from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality that would change when those mandatory freshwater releases begin, moving the trigger point from 30% reservoir capacity to 50%.
But it could be that more have to be done if we open it up. So we have to be cautious on how we proceed with it.
I would say that any changes to the agreed order should be, it's most important that this be based in science and in the data that's available. And the agreed order does lay out a process for recommending changes and amendments to that order.
For now, scientists say it's way too early to know whether the lack of freshwater releases has caused any lasting damage to the ecosystem here. Hilme says long-term impacts on fish, wildlife, and habitat may not become clear for another 4 to 5 years. Reporting from the Nueces Delta, Michael Gibson, 3 News.